from, let me just make sure that I go to the, okay, so the My Web University here, I'm going to go back, I'm going to close this window and then just open this one so I have enough memory areas. mkdir Moore's ping is the dig. This command also allow you to just search on a website to get an IP address and a record of the IP address with this information. So when you do, for example, let's say here I'm going to clear the screen, say cat etc resolve.conf file. So on this resolve.conf file, there's search name servers showing here. So I can say dig at this 127.0.0.53 and then go look for mywebuniversity.com. So you can see that it shows the name server, and it shows the IP address, and it shows that it's a record. A record meaning that it's not CNAME like canonical name or something, is the main IP address for it. And this is the website host name. So when I do nslookup, name server lookup of mywebuniversity.com, it also shows the same IP address here. But this one is a little bit more detailed with this. So nslookup minus q is equal mx, for example, shows mx record if there is any for mail exchanger, or minus qa for a record. Similarly, if I do that one for google.com, for example, google.com, you can see that a record is there, and then the mx record also, you can just get the mx record saying that how they route the mail exchanger in round robin. So the first maybe 100,000 mail goes to this server, then round robin to the 30. I started with 10 actually. So that's how their mail server works. The dig we covered, and we covered the next command is nslookup. nslookup basically is just similar to the dig command, we just covered it. So you can do a name server lookup of servers like nslookup of www.gpl.nasa.gov. Name server lookup of, let's say, alpha-live.gpl.nasa.gov. These are some of the services that I set up there. Let's see, we are not providing the details there. So, and let's see if we go to, and let's look up on IBM.com. And let's look up on Oracle.com. So everything, Amazon.com, so on. You could get the IP address of a name server lookup. Basically, there's a kind of DNS names and domain name services on the etc resolve.conf file of the particular host that is going to send this information to the DNS name servers, and from there it will determine where it's the .com, .edu, something, and from there it just goes to the next one. That's a different topic we will cover at a later date. So atrm, this is similar to cron jobs. atrm is running these commands, and you say atrm at now plus 1 minute. So if I want to run the command plus 1 minute, these commands, and then end of while terminator, it will execute the command pwd mls minus l 1 minute from now. At is there. At q is give you the job and listing, and I'm showing you here an output, and then the job number. Atrm, based on the job number that is there, you just remove it, and then that way you don't wait 1 minute. But this add command, similar to cron jobs, you can run as many as you want. And And normally there's a at.allow and cron.allow and so on. All of those ones are configurable on the system based on what you want to do on your system and what kind of privilege you have. At Q, we already covered sort. Sort is like sometimes you can get a file name and then reverse sort it and numerical -rn, and then sometimes you can just get the list, and then after you print it out like this one and those $sign, and then you sort it and numerical by the parameters that you want to sort it for. So sort is if you just don't give any argument, it just sorts it in the ascending order. -r would be descending order and so on. So that is there. Touch command is just like creating files. So if you just make a file just by saying touch something, it will just create a file. Like here, say touch this. Now the file this got created. Touch that, whatever file I just created, that's there. RM this and that, both of them is gone. So touch also, if I have the file words.c++, you can also touch the words.c++, and now the content, the timestamp of that file, words.c++, the timestamp of that file become just now. So if I touch it one more time there, and then I do a listing, and now notice that the timestamp is basically only changes if you look at the detail of it on stat, not the stat. So you can see that the timestamp of the file was there. So touch is a command also that you could do it when you're programming on large list of files, star.c++, and then you just want to run a make utility. The make utility sees that if this program was the only one that was touched, that was modified based on that timestamp, it only run and create the executable and the object files and everything all related to your make command syntax. It will just create those ones and run it based on the last file that was modified. If 10 of these the files were changed, and then it will automatically run those ones in the make utility. The make utility is very smart in that sense. So touch is just basically touching a file. If the file does not exist, like this does not exist, if I say touch this, it will create it, but notice it is a 0-byte file. If I just say ls-l greater sign this, now I created a file that is not 0-byte, and I just do a touch this. All it did this time, and the file is the same, the timestamp is changing. Because I did it at the same number of minutes, and this is same timestamp, but if a file exists long time ago, like let's say this file swap.c++ has that timestamp. If I say touch swap.c++ and do swap.c++, now it is November 27 rather than October 31st. So touch modify the timestamp of the date, as well as create a new file if it doesn't exist with the size of 0. The W command we already covered is basically similar to the who command, and W-H for host name. Like you can see dash here, I'm giving you some options. You can run the information and then -s. And then what else is there? -I. And then if you just want to get the syntax of them, please do a man W and then read the options there. See that the S for short name, and then -H no header information. I said host, but it's actually no header information. And then so on. So let's just do a system here. Clear my screen. I say W. That is giving you header, but if you W-H, no header. This load, the average, and everything is gone. So the W and -S was the short name. and so on. So that's W, and then what else is there? That's who is the command is the last part of the who command that just runs the people that are logged on the system currently. Who minus R also shows the run level. So if I just run it on my system here on this machine, clear my screen, say who, I just show that I am logged on. And who minus R is the run level, meaning that this one is in, there are different run levels on Unix and Linux. On Linux, run level 0 is for shutting down, and just run level 1 is single user mode, run level 2 multi-user mode with network, and then run level 3 is multi-user run level 2 with NFS option, and then run level 4 is not used mostly. Run level 5 is in graphical interface, and run level 6 is for reboot, and run level 7 is also graphic interface with xterm and everything available. But on the Solaris is different run level, -S, lowercase or uppercase, single user mode, as well as run level 1. Run level 0 and 5 is for shutting down on Solaris platforms, and then run level 5 on Solaris is if you have the hardware controlling the shutting down process. Run level 5 would also halt the system and shut down the entire system. So run level 1 and is single user mode, and then run level 6 is reboot, similarly to Linux, and run level 2 and 3 is similar to Linux, is for multi-user mode, and run level 3 is multi-user mode with NFS. And then run level 4 is not used on both of them. So, and that is the who command. And then with this, we completed chapter 2, the entire thing. So I'm going to post that video also here, so you could just enjoy practicing it on the site as well as watching the video. And then if you don't want to practice it, you could learn it first and then just come in and practice it. And if you don't want to practice on mywebuniversity.com because you don't have internet access or a browser that you can play around with at some point, maybe your time is kind of not, availability is not there. So if it is not an option, that's fine. Just watch the video. All you have to do is learn it, and on your classes, you will be enjoying from this point on. And whenever you take a Unix course or a Linux course. At the same time, what I want to make sure that you are, if you're running a VM or a Linux server or a Linux workstation or anything, you could practice the same commands on and the examples that I was showing you on a SSH connection. SSH stands for secure connection, that I will show you on next chapters, some of these other ones. So the next video will be covering chapter 3. I'm just going to quickly give you a kind of like glance at it. Chapter 3 is basically going to be talking about intermediate Unix command. It's a little bit more advanced than the basic command on chapter 2. And then we will cover that one. Very easy commands, but again, you have to start learning them in steps. So we cover that one in chapter 4, which is a lot of commands, and a lot of them are advanced commands that you actually have to be really good by this time, maybe on at least on a junior level, to get good at these commands. If you're not a senior admin or a junior, you have to be at least a junior admin to learn these details. But again, nobody is an advanced person to begin with. Everybody starts from basic, move on to intermediate and then advanced. And you're welcome to start on an advanced if you feel like you can do it and learn it faster than normal people do. But it's your choice. Okay, have fun. Thank you so much. And I'm going to stop it. Please, when I post this one on YouTube or some thing, please make sure that you subscribe so you can just have the subsequent videos that I post, you can see them. Have a nice one. Take care. Bye.